guys, it's Alicia. Now today I'm going to be making my great-grandmother's pineapple carrot cake. Now this carrot cake is probably one of my favorite carrot cakes. It is moist and delicious and covered in cream cheese frosting and altogether just so good. It is an old school recipe that has been passed down through the years, and I love family recipes that have been in the family for a long time. So if you want to see how I make this, just keep watching. Okay, so what you're going to need to make this is 3 cups all-purpose flour, 3 cups grated carrot, 2 cups oil, 7 eggs, a 13-ounce can of crushed pineapple, 2 3/4 cup sugar, and in here I have 3 teaspoons cinnamon, 2 1/4 teaspoons baking soda, 3 teaspoons baking powder, and 1 1/2 teaspoons salt. And then for the cream cheese frosting, I'm going to be using some confectioner sugar, cream cheese, butter, and vanilla. Now you're going to want to prepare your cake pans. So how I do this is I just spray a little cooking spray on the pan, and then I cut out a piece of wax paper or parchment paper and then just put that on the bottom of the pan. And then give it another spray. And this is just going to help keep your cake from sticking in the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with my other 2 pans now. So I've got all 3 of those prepared, and I'm going to turn on my oven to preheat at 350. So the first thing we're going to do is put in our flour and our baking soda, baking powder, salt, and cinnamon in a mixer here. And you can do this by hand if you don't have a stand mixer. You can also use a hand mixer. So I'm gonna just mix this up real well. And now that I've got that mixed, I'm going to add my eggs, oil, and my sugar. And then I'm gonna mix this real well. So I've got this all mixed up well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the beater off and I'm going to hand mix in my carrots and my pineapple. Now if you want to add nuts to this, you can at this point too. I'm making this for my mom and she doesn't want nuts in it, so I'm not going to add any nuts into this one. But you can definitely add like walnut or pecans to this, probably around 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup if you do want nuts in this. And I wanted to add that the carrots are kind of a pain to grate up by hand, and that is what I did, but if you have a food processor, that's probably a much easier way of getting your carrots grated. I just didn't want to dirty my food processor up, and so I did it by hand, but it did take quite a bit to get 3 cups grated by hand. So like I said, I'm just going to kind of fold this in here until it's all incorporated in with the batter. And here is what it looks like when it is all mixed together. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to try to evenly pour it into these 3 cake pans. And like I've said in some of my other cake videos, this is always difficult for me to get this even, but I just do the best that I can. Okay, I've got these pretty well evenly poured in here. Now I'm gonna put them in my preheated oven at 350, and I'm gonna start them baking for probably about 35-40 minutes and just check and see how they're looking. All right, and while my cake is baking, I'm gonna go ahead and make my cream cheese frosting. Now, this frosting definitely makes this cake. The cake is very good by itself, but the cream cheese frosting combined with the carrot cake is just so good. So I'm gonna start with my 1/2 cup butter here. And you want your butter and your cream cheese softened so that they mix a whole lot better than they would if they were not. And this cake is a pretty big cake, so I'm gonna probably use 2 bricks of the cream cheese. I would normally only use 1 or 1 1/2, but I'm gonna kind of make a little more frosting than I would for a smaller sized cake. So I got both my bricks of cream cheese and my half cup butter in there, and I'm gonna just blend this up really, really well. Okay, I've got that nice and mixed together. Now I'm gonna put a little vanilla in, and I don't really measure when I make this. It's probably a couple teaspoons. I'll mix that up real quick. Okay, now I'm going to add my powdered sugar, and normally if I was just making this, I would just dump some in and kind of go by look, but since I'm actually filming this, I will measure it out for you so you know how much it is. I'm gonna just start with a cup and just start mixing that in, and then I'm gonna slowly just add more. Okay, and this is done, and as you can see by the powdered sugar all over the place, including the floor. I tried to mix this a little faster than I should have, and that is what happened. So that is why you want to very slowly put in your powdered sugar so you don't end up with what I did. Anyway, I ended up putting about 6 cups, minus what I lost down here, in this, and it tastes pretty good. So now I'm gonna just set this aside, and I'm gonna wait for my cakes to get done. And here's a little closer view of what this looks like when it is done. Okay, it has been 40 minutes. These look good. You basically just wanna bake them until a toothpick comes out clean. And I did that, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out, and then I'm gonna let them rest for about 5 minutes before I remove them from the pans. I've let the cakes cool for a couple hours now, so now I'm gonna go ahead and frost them. Okay, I've got this all frosted. Now I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of walnuts on the top of it, just for looks. Like I said, I didn't put any inside, but I think they look nice on the top. And that is what it looks like. Like I said, this is a pretty big cake, as you can see, with the 3 layers. But I will go ahead and cut into it so you can see how it looks on the inside. Okay guys, and here it is. Cut a piece out of it, and that is what it looks like inside. And there's the piece I cut out. And as you can probably see, this cake is just so moist from the carrots and the pineapple that's in it. And then the cream cheese frosting just ties it all together. It is so, so good. And I love the fact that this is my great-grandmother's recipe. I love making recipes that have been passed down in the family. So not only is this absolutely delicious, it is special because it is a family recipe. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.